Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to day 20 of my series 23 till I'm 23. Day 20, that means I have 3 more days to go. Wow, that's a lot. That's like 3 days to my birthday, 3 days before I finally drop this mic. Don't mind me, I'm kidding. I'll definitely not drop this mic after 23 days. You're welcome again to my series, and let's just get right into what we have for today. So the topic for day 20 is you don't have to have it all figured out, but just know what you need to know. I used to be, or I don't know if I still am, I used to be someone who just liked to play all the cards possible before starting out, just to make sure that there's no mistake in any way. However, I'm very glad that this is one lesson that I've learned within the few years of my life, that I don't really have to have it all figured out from the start. However, when I'm starting out, it's important that I know the things that I need to know. I like to describe life as a movie full of suspense. You know, when you're watching a movie and there's just so much suspense in it. Somehow I feel like that suspense is the essence of life itself. Sometimes when I stay, I try to imagine how life would feel if at every point in time we know the next thing that is going to happen. I don't know. I don't know how it would have been anyways, but then it would just be like there'll be nothing to hope for. Even though I agree that there's some things that might happen in life that might not be completely unexpected to some people, but let's leave that talk for another day, anyways. Life can feel very overwhelming, especially the parts where we feel like we have to have everything figured out perfectly. I don't know why, but I think human beings, we are so engrossed with perfection. You don't have to know it all from the beginning. You don't have to know it all from the start. You can eventually figure everything out as life goes on. As you evolve, you get to figure the next step. What matters the most is figuring out what steps you need to take now when you're starting out. What are those essential steps that you need to take now? What are those things you need to know now while starting out? What are the basics that you need? Those are the important things. So we've agreed that while starting out, you don't need to know it all, but there are some things you need to know, and those things are things that you need to spend your time getting to know. So while starting out any venture, it might be a business, it might be starting out an academic venture, a political work, anything that you're starting out, you obviously would not know what's going to happen next, but there are some things, some basics that you need to know, that if you don't know those basics, it's going to cost you in the long run. Now let me tell you a story. I wanted to start a business. I was very much engrossed in starting a business, so I had saved up the money. I had the money with me. I really wanted to start a business, and I was so confused as to how to start and all of that. So me and my friend were just talking about it and everything. We're just trying to draw out a plan and all of that. We just talked about it sparsely, right? But me, I'm a very spontaneous person. I don't even know. So because I was so interested in the business, I was doing a lot of research on it on Instagram, and then my algorithm changed. Most people selling that particular product were just everywhere on my Instagram page. So I decided to take the leap and just chat one up. And then we had a conversation. We talked about delivery and all of that. I paid the money, and that was where the chat ended. And funny enough, I had gone to read when we completed the chat, right? I'd gone to read, so I'd made the payment, no response, nothing. I received the payment, nothing like that. So at that point, I figured out that I was scammed. I just closed my book. I just closed my book. I went back home and laid down on the bed. A part of me wanted to cry. I don't know if I cried. I can't remember now if I cried, but I was doing stronger because I couldn't bring myself to realize that I was just duped of my hard-earned money. Now, when my friend came back from school, I was hesitant to tell her because she would have been so shocked. Like, we just had discussion how many days ago, and you went ahead. Like, I was so sure that that was what she was going to say. And trust me, when I told her, that was exactly what she said. She was so disappointed. But the money had gone, and there was really nothing that we could do about it. But then that experience did something to me. eventually, I think it took me 2 years to eventually think about starting the business again and all. But this time around, I had done my research. Like, I could easily spot out, even till now, I can easily spot out an Instagram page that is fake. Like, because once between 15 times shy, I did my research very well on where to source products and all of that. So I learned the basics that I needed, but I learned it late. So the first time, because I did not learn the essential things I needed for that business, like finding where to source products, these are the basics that I failed to do then, and it costs me. So applying this now to every other aspect of your life, if there's any venture that you want to go into, I trust and I honestly believe that truly you cannot have everything figured out from the start. But trust me, if you do not know what you're supposed to know at that point that you're starting out, it's going to cost you in the long run. And that's why it's important that you spend your time building, you spend your time learning the basics of whatever venture that is before you eventually dive head in. Trying to figure out every detail before it starts is going to stress you, is going to bring about overthinking. Like, there's just going to be a lot of things in your head because you're just playing scenarios in your head, and most of them you're not really going to play them out how they might eventually play out. When they happen, they might eventually play out worse than you had imagined, or way less than you had even imagined in the first place. So unless you're going to make plans for both ways, I don't know. However, I would suggest that you spend your time learning the basic things that you need to know for whatever venture that you're starting out with. I don't know if to be weird, but what I like to imagine is Barbie, the movie Barbie. There are different types of Barbie, and I can't remember the one now, but there was this particular one I saw while I was younger, thereabouts, where she would march on a stone and then the next one would shine lights. I think it was the 12 dancing princesses, Barbie and the 12 dancing princesses. So when they march on one, the next one shines lights, and then they march on the next one, another one does, right? So you never really figure out everything until you take that step in the first place. And as you take the step, the path begins to shine. So as someone with a plan to start out on a venture, the basic questions you need to ask yourself is, what is my main goal? What skills do I need to learn? What are the basics I need to learn to get to this main goal? What actionable steps do I need to start out with to eventually get me to achieve this main goal I have? You really don't need the whole map figured out at first. You just need a direction. I know I talked about learning the basics, but in learning the basics, there's something you should be very much careful about, right? You might be so invested in getting head knowledge around whatever venture you want to start in. You might be so invested in grabbing as much information as you can, which is good, right? But what you should be careful of while doing that is the part where you become very much scared to even start out because you feel like you do not know enough. You're spending so much time studying on the different ways a particular venture can go wrong and how to prevent it from going wrong that you become so invested in it and forget that you actually need to start out with that venture. So the truth is that the journey itself will teach you. It will teach you more than planning will ever teach you, and it will teach you more than your head knowledge will ever teach you, right? Because even if you plan, your plan might not really work as you had planned it because there are external factors that you're not really in control of. So much as I've established that you need to spend time learning the basics, at the same time, there's a point where you have to start out. So that's it about the lesson for today, day 20. You don't need to know it all, you don't need to have it all figured out, but you need to know what you need to know. Thank you guys for staying with me through day 20. I have 3 more days to go, and I'll be expecting to see you too on those 3 days. Bye for now, guys.